Laughter is always the best therapy. So, hello, our truth warriors. It's about time we blew off some steam and took our minds off the insanity that this world presents itself and have a good laugh about it. You know, this thing's a whole shit show. We know that it is. But joining me today is a great Canadian comedian that fortunately sees it the way that we do. But he has a great talent of being able to make it sound exactly how it is, an absolute joke. So welcome to the Atlantic Underground podcast, the one and only Alex Lasarev.
Good to be here, brother.
It is, and it's great to see you. And I enjoyed our pre podcast chat, and we won't get into that, save embarrassing you. Oh, man, I tell you what, we've got to start with today. We've got to start with the Olympics, where people clearly do not know what equipment they have. What do you think of all this?
I think this is a great opportunity for all the men out there who have been wanting to beat up on women to finally have an excuse to do so and be guilt-free about it. Because in the old days, it was just one of those things that was absolutely not allowed. You could do whatever you want to, do not hit women. But now, not only is it okay, you can get medals for it and everything. So I think it's just a win-win for everybody. You know,
Absolutely. And I can't wait for the rowing. It's coxless pairs, apparently.
Cox. I think it's great. I think that whole time, my mom actually beat me up a lot, and I didn't really hit her back because I knew it was wrong. But would it have been more right if I had identified as a woman? Then I kicked the shit out of my mom in
Sounds good.
self-defense. Would that have been better? I wish I had access to that as a kid, but
Absolutely. And
better late than never.
if people are offended like that, we're offended that they're offended.
Right, that's the most important thing.
Yeah. I mean, what next? I mean, I hear Mike Tyson's going to enter the Paralympics boxings because of his speech impediment.
That would be interesting. That would be really interesting. And then everyone else would end up with a speech impediment, and then it would be a level playing field.
That's it. I mean, this thing's gone way too far. I always talk about on the shows about how the LGBTQ movement has been hijacked and they don't even realize it. Now, I remember at school when the only drag queen we saw was the picture of Her Majesty being pulled in front of us at assembly before we sung the national anthem. I mean, what the fuck is going on now? Have people lost their minds?
Uh, it's it's yeah, in a way, yes, but it's more so that they're so used to complying with what everyone else thinks is normal or what everyone else believes. That's more important. It's more important to fit in and do what you're told, as we've seen over these last years, than do what's right or think for yourself or question anything. That's what makes, I used to make fun of Canadians the most, but that is what makes human beings feel safe, doing what everyone else is doing, even when it's going to kill you and all your friends. Doesn't matter. As long as everyone commits suicide together, it's still the right thing to do.
Oh yeah, like a load of lemmings off a cliff, really, isn't it? But I mean,
Yeah.
talking about all dying and being killed, let's talk about the most dangerous man in the world. A German so evil, he brought genocide to the world as he brought down governments and countries by infiltration. What do you think about Klaus Schwab?
He's great. I think he's really an excellent bad guy. He's really gone far for the role. He's got the outfit, the evil accent, the bald hair. I mean, he's got it down. It's like whoever wrote this script, they really are great at casting, and I think whoever did the casting should really get an award because he is the best bad guy going.
No, he just needs a cat and the finger.
That's the only thing missing. That's the only thing missing. But it's just so funny. You know how they have to show you what they're doing. He literally looks like a Bond villain out of a movie, and people are still, oh no, he's trying to do good. Guys, hello, oh, please use your. Have you heard about eyeballs? Have you seen them? You use them. Use your eyeballs. Yeah, it's pretty funny.
And the thing is, if we ever do get into a battle with them, it means that they have to wear one coloured suit and we have to wear a different coloured suit. So those watching it knows fighting as well. It's always, safety first when it comes to that kind of thing. Now, there's no way that we're going to be able to put this one on YouTube today because Ingsocs thought police won't want any more sheeple getting the flock out of the indoctrination bill. So, how do you manage to cope with such restrictions while operating in the funny farm?
Prayer and faith in God, honestly. Um, well, I just kind of do my thing and it always seems to work out. It's been something I've always been dealing with. I was making videos about helping men and dating for a long time. Then I started talking about plant medicines and some healing experiences, and there was a bit of censoring. And obviously, when we got into the COVID era, dude, yeah, you just sometimes just by saying certain things and you can, that's the thing about humor. I can make jokes and everybody knows what I'm talking about, but I don't have to say certain words. Everybody knows what I'm talking about. So you can be clever. And these days we have decentralized, websites. There's so many now, and even Rumble that's technically not decentralized, but they seem to be, on the light side. So, yeah, you just weave and bob and you play their game and you get clever with it, and you know you do the best you can. Same as anything else, really.
Yeah, that's it. We've already lost two channels for things we said, and that wasn't even funny. It was serious, but there we go. Um, we're looking at war ramping up. The Hamas leader that the Zionist elite just assassinated in Iran was the actual diplomat in charge of peace deals, funnily enough. The war is going to heat up even more as the bombs are going to continue to fly. Do you think the Holy Land will live up to its name by being full of holes soon?
It's been full of holes pretty much since the beginning of time. I think they're going to keep putting holes in it. Um, I am very much, I think anybody watching is completely anti-war. All the side stuff, I'm sure your audience knows, it's all just division, division, division. It's just killing is wrong, period. That's all there is to it. But I think it's just going so out of hand now with so much evil murder that even the sleepiest of the sleepies might actually wake up and go, wait a second, this is getting a little bit much. So I think that's what we're coming into. Um, but frankly, it is a lot of death of a lot of innocent people that really, it's a little bit much. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of people. The only reason I'm upset about it, the main reason is that I really was comfortable with the United States being number one when it came to the carpet bombing women and children and civilians. And I
Yeah.
really feel there's a risk that Israel might get that number one spot. And I have some American friends that are, really going to be upset about not being number one anymore. So that's the thing.
I know, and I'm surprised that America funding their own competitor, really, because
Right?
if the death tally is something that they need to achieve, I mean, why pay somebody else to do it? But I'm saying that the infiltration of the Zionist elites within the US probably run the whole country anyway, so it's probably just passing money around and laundering in the very same way that the Ukraine do as well. So it's all good fun. Now, speaking of the US, I did hear that Joe Biden shit his pants again. And after he changed his diaper, he came back and found that there was a new president. Yeah,
Did they put her in as a new president officially? I haven't been keeping up the last couple of days. Or I know he kind of disappeared. That's the last I heard.
yeah. I mean, if he's gone and she's there, I don't know. I'm not really sure, but Camilla
You
is.
know, I hope she wins.
Yeah,
I really hope she wins. I hope they put her in. It's going to be great because that would be the end of government. Like, can you imagine? You can see how pissed people were the first time they stole the thing. But imagine they do it again when like nobody, like you can't find someone on the street, even if you look, that wants to vote for that team. And they go, yeah, yeah, they won in a landslide. Dude, that's going to be a show. That is going to be really fun. And I believe the end of government in the United States. But other countries would see that, and I think it might just be the end of government everywhere. So I'm voting for Kamala. I'm going to get some 100% Kamala stickers. I'm going to be giving out hats. That's just, I think, better for everyone. Yeah.
that's it. You got to help the cause. I mean,
Gotta help the cause, man.
Kamala is now trans-ethnic and identifies as black instead of Indian. And I'm just wondering, is that so she doesn't shit on the streets anymore?
I have respect for people who like to switch it up. You know what I'm saying? Keep it fresh. One race one day, one race the other day. I think it's great. I'm stuck just being like a boring Russian Canadian Jew. Not very exciting. I wish I could go Indian, black, little Chinese. It's great. So I'd like to see two, three more like kind of switches on her part, and I think then I'll be really good. She's really got my vote then.
But
Yeah.
we can't get mixed up the two trans Camillas because one is the president of the US and the other bloke Camilla Parker Bowles is with King Charles. Are you a fan of the elites?
Uh, Yeah, no. Who could actually say they're a fan? Like, who actually goes? I think they're great. They're really great. Just taking all those billions of dollars, using their private planes, and then just telling everyone they'll own nothing and be happy. Love what those guys are doing. Um, that would be some cognitive dissonance right there. No, it's always been a joke. Like I've always seen past the like. I'm really an anarchist at heart. One of my jokes, one of my favorite jokes in my comedy act, which sometimes I open with, is I go up on stage. I got my little kind of semi-serious face, and I just say, I consider myself the world's first spiritually enlightened anarchist. That means I've realized on a deep level that we're fundamentally all one consciousness, that's nature is love, and every single being on this earth is just one window of this infinite, forever, big, fat love that's experiencing itself forever and forever, till the end of time. But still, fuck the government. And that's funny because once you attain enlightenment and you're all about love and oneness and all that kind of stuff, you wouldn't be angry at anyone, even the government, and you'd realize that there's no such thing. Hence the punchline, but still fuck the government. But yeah, no, the elites are, wow. That's all I can say about them is just, wow, they're doing a great job facilitating the Great Awakening. Great job.
Yeah.
Cheers to them.
It appears, cheers, I've got my cup of tea here with the Jew thing going on. Not the J,
there we go.
not the JW thing, the DEW thing. Look at that. There's all kinds of stuff, and
very good.
The fire engines are trying to put it out,
Nice.
but the direct energy weapons are far too strong in this case. So it is to drink into that. Anyway, speaking of elites and monarchy, it looks like they can't live forever. It looks like the reptilians can all catch the big C, according to the royal press advisor. Sorry. Do you think they caught it from too much adrenochrome that they got from Jeffrey Epstein?
I believe it's called adrenochrome, for the record. You said it like adrenochrome, like it was ice cream. I'm like, that's some dark shit, bro. If they're walking around with the that's ice cream, kind of funny. I don't know if you can get COVID from that stuff. I don't believe in COVID. There's been $1 million offer for anyone that can prove it exists. No one's claimed the money, so I'm still waiting. But I do believe selling your soul to the forces of darkness and drinking that stuff probably is going to get you sick, but more on a spiritual level, because you sold your soul to Satan, and probably not that good for your physical body either in the long term, because vibrationally very low. Getting involved in all that, very, very low. Separation from source, very high. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. It seemed to work. It worked for Celine Dion, though. It got her off a deathbed to sing at the Olympics.
Ooh, that was awkward. Yeah. When I heard about her and the whole thing, I was just no.
Yeah. No, I know. Now, why do you think it is when you ask someone if they trust politicians, they say no, they're all a bunch of lying bastards. But when the politicians tell everyone it's safe and effective, then that's okay?
Yeah, that's been a fascination of mine. I did a video about this you would absolutely love. We never put it out, but I can tell you what happened. We were just going around asking people, like, on a scale of 1 to 10, how much do you trust mainstream media? And people would say 4 or 5. I'd be like, okay, fair enough, so not very much. How much do you trust the government? And people go, oh, I don't know, like 4.5. I'm like, okay, so they're full of shit, at least somewhat. Excellent. Did you take your vaccine? Oh, yes, 100%. Yeah. Are we in a genuine pandemic right now? Oh, absolutely. How do you know? Oh, well, it's all over the TV.
Yeah.
And I'm just looking at them like, were you not here for question number 1 and 2? It's just, it's a psyop that's so powerful, even when you're directly, like, you can't see, like, you cannot see it. It's just so deep. And it's the belief in government that was there long before this came out, belief in authority, belief in doctors. People have been so indoctrinated, even when it's like literally in front of your face, they can't see it. Yeah, it's quite a thing. It's amazing what you can do with psyops when you have an unlimited budget running into the billions of dollars. It's pretty cool, actually.
But it's amazing what you can do when you have the magic stick of wielding fear. And I think that the majority of people around the world, regardless of how much they know the government lies and they know how the mainstream media is owned by, 6 corporations globally. But at the end of the day, you break out the fear porn and everyone complies. And that to me is one big thing. If I could just literally, set up a brave camp and stop people being fearful of everything, we'd get over this. We'd say We just call it.
That
We call
that
it shit. Yeah.
that was my old job as a dating coach. I'd literally spend hours with men making them do socially uncomfortable things so they would get over their fear of rejection and actually change their lives. Like these people would become fearless and they stopped being sheeple because they stopped being fucking terrified. And by the way, the premise itself, like the whole vaccine thing, it was so ridiculous. Like just think about it, like the creator, whatever your spiritual beliefs are, whatever intelligence made everything, our human bodies, our eyeballs, which are the best camera ever, our lungs, our blood, is like billions of processes going on in our body that are just happening perfectly. Like it's inconceivable how perfect everything is. It's nuts.
Yeah.
But that creator really fucked up on your immune system, bro. But don't worry, that creator who fucked up on your immune system has created Bill Gates, who's going to fix your immune system. So relax, everybody. It's just so beyond ridiculous that anyone ever fell for it. And yet, here we are.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, if there is one gender I cannot stand, it's Agenda 2030. What do you think about this climate sex change bollocks? Is it safe to have a multicolored ring?
Is it safe to have a multicolored ring?
Yeah, that's the sign for the Agenda 2030. And the United Nations Sustainable Development symbol, all the little
Oh,
badges
yes,
that
yes.
you see Bill
Yes, yes,
Gates and
yes.
all the other agenda freaks wearing.
Yeah, it's really funny. Like once I was trying to explain this to someone the other day, like once you really get people have to get that it's as long as anyone is pushing any type of separation where you're like one group is better or different or it's these people's fault, anything that's creating separation is coming directly from the forces of evil, because separation is the exact opposite of truth. Every enlightened master in the world is saying the same thing. We're all one consciousness, our nature is love, we're all one race, one people, just forever, we're all one. And so there's so many different separations that they're doing to get everyone fighting everybody. It's actually, I think they deserve an award. It's not, and people get caught up in one. Oh, this, don't get caught up in anything. Anyone that's getting you to fight your brothers and sisters is not your friend.
No.
Simple as that. And just come together. It's just silliness.
Yeah, I mean, divide and conquer's been around for a long time now.
But it's just so in your face, crazy obvious at this point, you know? It's
yeah.
ridiculous.
And it's like, hey, we haven't got enough divide and conquer going on here. What can we do? Bring in the immigrants. It's like, come on, everyone come in. We need to create more divide and then the people will fight each other and we can sit back and watch from our luxury homes on the TV.
Look shitty. I just like how you say it. Look shitty. Look shitty, mate. Fucking fantastic.
So right now, there's probably a bunch of liberal fucktards listening to this, being offended and having a meltdown. Do you find
They're not listening. There's no way they're listening.
No,
There's
they
no
probably got to the first point. They got to the first part and went, "Oh, not this guy. No, we can't watch this guy." But do you find it fun to socialize with them on a regular basis, or is blue hair dye hard to come by now?
It's definitely not hard to come by where I am. I'm in Amsterdam at the moment.
I can imagine. Yeah.
It's not that it's hard to interact with them. It's just that it's just not interesting to be around people who are in a cult and completely brainwashed and are just like on some reality that's so distant from what is the truth. It's a little bit awkward, but it's my spiritual practice now to keep loving. That's it's been that for a while, but I just keep on loving and keep like just, this is a human being, this is a soul, there's a soul in there, that soul is good, they're just really, really lost. And can I keep loving this person even though they're really, really far gone? And I think that really is that. If Jesus was here, this would be his teaching. Keep loving on everyone from that place of unconditional love and forgiveness, no matter how fucking far gone they are. And I try and hold that space, especially for friends I've had that are really, really far gone, because at some point they're going to start waking up and realizing some things. And who are they going to call? They're going to call their one friend who's been, trying to speak to them. So it's really our opportunity for our spiritual development is to keep loving, even though people are batshit crazy. It's not their fault. Look, we've all done stupid things. We've all fallen for some of the psyop at some point. Come on, none of us were born enlightened masters. So let's have that compassion for people, even though part of us wants to wrap our fucking hands around their neck and shake the shit out of them. Just keep loving, keep loving.
I know.
It's not easy, bro. It's not fucking easy sometimes, but we have to do the best we can.
I know. It's insane. And
It's insane.
I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing still if I'd have given up. And people keep telling me, "Oh, you can't save anyone. It's done. It's over. You know, we just have to
You
buckle
can't
down."
save anyone.
Yeah,
You
but
can't say, dude, that's been the most difficult and deep lesson for so many of us over these last few years. Just the fact that someone would listen to the government from instead of their mother or their father or their brother, like it's fucking nuts. But we really can't save anyone but ourselves. All we can do is save ourselves and love and be the example of what we want to see in this world. And the people who are ready to wake up, at some point, you're going to get that text message going, can we talk? And you'll be like, of course we
yeah,
can. Of course we can, brother. I'm here for you. I just had a call today with a dear brother from haven't spoken to him in a few years. He's so gone. He's so gone. He has no idea. And there's nothing I can do but say, hey, brother, I still love you. I'm here. If you ever want to talk, you got my number. That's all I can say. That's all I
yeah.
can say.
And that's what I've said to people because I know as things get worse, you know, at some point, people are going to realize that we're not enemies.
Right.
We have this common enemy that people, you know, are suffering under. And at the end of the day, when it gets to a point, we're going to have to be the ones there to pick up the pieces and help a lot of broken people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's true. And again, from a very deep spiritual perspective, and some people might think a little bit weird for saying this, but from a deep spiritual perspective, even the most that like as evil as some of the shit is going on, believe me, it's evil, and I don't like it. And I think the forces of darkness have gone a little bit too far. I'll be frank with you, but the gift of it is it's bringing all of us together in this great awakening. I mean, honestly, I don't think the planet would have woken up if they hadn't done the pandemic, dude. I just
No,
don't think people
right.
would have woken up.
Yeah.
So that evil is literally, that's a catalyst for all aspects of creation, which are fundamentally aspects of love. It's getting us to wake up and remember our true nature quicker. This is a massive spiritual awakening that's happening globally, and it was triggered by the forces of evil being fucking evil, man. So in that way, I'm grateful to them because I know this planet is going to evolve to its next level of consciousness. I mean, I'm telling you, we're going to another dimension. I think we're coming into a planetary enlightenment. But do
Yeah.
I think it's going to get ugly? A lot of people are going to go through some serious fucking shit and awakening and dark night of the soul and all this kind of stuff. Oh yeah, I think a lot of that's going to happen. But 20 years from now, are we good? Yeah, man, I think we're going to be awesome. And
Oh yeah.
it's thanks to the bad guys playing. How high a spiritual being do you have to be to volunteer to be Bill Gates, to be Anthony Fauci, to be that level of evil? Those might be the most enlightened souls going, all right, I'll be the bad guy this round. I'll do it. I mean,
Yeah.
think about how that's fucking crazy to
Oh yeah.
take that role. That's nuts.
Oh yeah. Can you imagine it? Like, you know, you're floating around as a spirit in the pool of light and God calls you over. And he's like, listen, you know, you've done really well all the time. You've gone back, you've helped people, you've done so many good things. Have you ever experienced being an absolute evil bastard? No, I haven't, God. Do you want to go back and have a go? Because like we've got this whole theater on the planet going here, and we want to send you back, stick you in a meat suit, and you get to be not only rich, you get to be really evil and do
Yeah.
horrible things to people. Oh, but God, that's not me. You know, I'm love and light. Yeah, but it's only an experience. It'll be over
Yeah.
really quickly.
It's just a dream. It's not real. It's just an experience for consciousness. All right, it's going to help a lot of aspects of yourself to wake the fuck up and realize they're part of God. What do you think?
Yeah.
All right, I'll do it. I'll fucking do it. You know, that's really what it is. So it really makes you question what's really going on here.
So what do you call a man with a little dick?
Uh, it depends how serious the parents were about circumcision. I mean, did they just do the tip, or I don't know. Come on, if you can't laugh about male genital mutilation, what can you laugh about? Come on.
I don't know. The answer is just in. So anyway, we can't talk about fucktards without mentioning the bastard son of a Cuban dictator.
Oh yeah, God.
I can't believe somebody with a net worth of 135 million, he can't afford a closet to come out of. What do you make of this guy? Is he just Was he promised too much and couldn't give anything back?
He's an enigma, man. I am seeing this pattern that the bad guys, they put people that are really dumb in positions of power. And I think they do it because they're not smart enough to like fuck them over or switch sides or anything. They're just absolute morons. And they literally like, this is your script. This is what you're going to do. So they have to get the dumbest people. And look at it. Biden, Kamala, fucking Justin Trudeau. I mean, they literally are like, who's the dumbest person in the room? Do you want to be president? So it makes sense.
It's
Makes
like
perfect
an
sense.
IQ test on humanity. It's like, let's do the most bizarre, weird shit and see if anyone notices. Now, there's a few that have noticed, but what amazes me are the supporters, the ones who rally behind of how wonderful he is. Oh, and I even hear it for so many years. Oh, in England. Oh, well, look at your prime minister. Isn't he incredible? It's like, oh, fucking hell, no, he's not. But speaking of prime ministers and presidents, I did see, Trump prior to his election now has come out showing his affiliation with the LGBTQ movement, or as I like to call it, 50 Shades of Gay, by getting his right ear pierced. What do you think about that?
I haven't heard about that. Is that true? I hope that's not true. I doubt that's true. That doesn't
Yeah,
feel right to me.
somebody put they used a lead piercing tool from a roof across the way to pierce it. It was all over the news. I did see it.
Yeah, I'm gonna assume that's trolling. But if he want, I'm sure that's trolling. But it would, in a way, it would be funny if he did it. Um, but
I
yeah,
know. That's it. I mean, it wouldn't surprise. I actually thought Big Mike might actually run for election this year, seeing as, could you imagine it? Like the elections of this year in every country, and we've got the whole rainbow thing going on. And then all of a sudden, Big Mike runs for president in the US, and it's okay because everyone accepts that we can have a transgender president in the US. And Justin Trudeau decides that he's finally bought that closet and he's going to come out of it, and everyone embraces that. And oh, what a wonderful thing! We must vote this guy back in again. But could you imagine if every president and prime minister around the world actually did that? I mean, I'm not sure what Putin would do, but I'm sure that Zelensky is right up there with all this, especially when he likes to play the piano with his penis as well.
he might be. He might be. Who knows?
Yeah.
I don't think even most of these people are human. A lot of them, like I've seen masks flapping around like this. Some of them are clones. I don't. That's why it doesn't bother me. I'm just like, yeah, it's just not even a human. So just yeah. Sometimes it's really just actors. It
Yeah.
makes it exciting when you see someone on TV and you're like, mask, actor, clone, AI. Like you don't know what's going on. It's kind of fun.
Oh, yeah.
It makes it spicy. I'm tired of just, oh, it's another human. Who gives a shit? No, no. I like it. I like the variety. It's nice.
Do you think one day it'll be like a scene out of Mission Impossible and all these people will come on camera, but announcements at the White House and they just go, look at
I
this.
I think that might happen. Ultimately, when the soul leaves the body, that's what happens. Everybody shows all their colors and all the good and evil that you've done, and everybody sees everything, and then you go into your next incarnation. So it might happen in the 3D even before that. Absolutely. I think we're going to see a lot of crazy things
It's like
coming
a
up real
It's like
soon.
a Scooby-Doo moment. It's like
I mean,
they pull the mask off and it's such and such. Why didn't you say so all along?
it's going
Anyway,
to be fun.
in a made up story, I hear the cost of living in Canada is now more expensive than the cost of dying. And according to the new mental health rules, tinfoil hat wearing loonies like me and you can actually go and get it for free. What do you think of these changes to assist people in dying, especially in Canada, where I don't know, is it some kind of cleansing? Do they need to get the real Canadians out the way for the
Listen,
influx of people that are coming
listen.
in?
I'll be honest with you, as somebody who has innate knowledge of the Canadian medical system, as I've grown up in Canada and lived there, It's really bad. It doesn't help anyone. So if you have any type of problem, physical pain, and you don't have any money, you can't get better. You can't even afford to go and have it done in the States. So I think the least the government can do is offer to put you down on the house because the all the money you put into the tax system isn't there and isn't good enough to actually help you in any way. So come on, absolutely, I'm 100%. If you can't heal people and you've stolen all their money in taxes
Yeah.
and there's no medical system whatsoever, at least help people fucking leave the body and go to their next incarnation. That's the least you could do. I think any country that's not offering to take their citizens out, it's just disrespectful, and I think they need to get their shit together. That's all I'm saying. We'll just leave it there.
And you,
Canada's leading the way globally, and let's go, guys. Let's go.
oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, right now you've got the Conservative Party leader, P. Your Polyester. He's got a big following despite his blatant lies about not being associated with the World Economic Foreskin. It looks like he will become the next central bank puppet of Canada. Do you like this guy as well?
I think as long as people who run for office are very clear that they're going to do whatever the WEF thinks is a good idea, I think we're in great hands. I think they've shown during the pandemic these people care about us. They're just doing the right stuff to help everybody be healthy and be happy and own nothing. So I'm with him 100%. I actually think he's almost not evil enough. You know what I mean? I actually think like he's not 100% evil. I want to get another Klaus Schwab in there for Canada if we could.
Yeah.
But as long as I know he's with the WF and he's going to follow orders, I'm happy with him. I think it's good.
I mean, when you've got a nice guy that wants to kill you, it makes it so much easier. It's
It's
like
great. No, it's great.
it's,
It's
it's like
fantastic.
the scene out of Monty Python, crucifixion, and the guy's like, "Oh no, not today. They've let me off. Oh, okay, off you go then."
All I need to trust the government is he comes from a major organization, like the WEF. He wears nice suits and he's good looking and he's articulate. And as long as all those things are checked, I'm willing to pay whatever amount of taxes and do what I'm told and keep my mouth shut. So I'm good. As a Canadian, I think I speak for all Canadians that he checks all the boxes for us and we don't have a problem.
Absolutely, absolutely. Now, despite the fact that after this, most people are going to know us and hate us, what do you think the purpose is for the digital ID and the central bank digital currency? Because this is absolutely fantastic. I really can't wait for it to come.
I think it's great. I mean, for me as a Canadian, convenience comes before everything. So if you want to track me, tell me what I can and can't do. I mean, listen, when we had the lockdowns, I'm telling you, what made me the happiest is just, not being able to, all right. I guess I might have been a little bit different from the mainstream then. I might have, disagreed. But I think I speak for most Canadians when we say we just want to have our life be happy and convenient. We don't, and it doesn't really matter like freedom and all that kind of stuff. And who cares? Convenience over freedom. I think that's where most Canadians stand, and I think they're just going to welcome the CBDC pretty openly, as long as they can just get their Uber Eats delivered on time.
Yeah, I mean, I was
Yeah.
thinking, of breaking out of doing podcasting and actually getting back into something where I know I can earn good money. And I'm looking at the possibility of getting into 15-minute city real estate because I can see that being a big thing moving forward. Do you?
Oh yeah. Oh, absolutely, absolutely. I mean, if you think property values are high now, imagine when everything's just that convenient within 15 minutes. Fucking hell, it'd be great.
Yeah.
It'd be great. You'll be able to just a little plot of land just to put a little bet on. It'll be worth like a few million. It's gonna be insane.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's it. But I do
it'd be
still
great.
think I'm going to need a little bit of land outside the 15-minute city to have another business of bug farming because these high protein critters, everybody that wants to lose weight and everyone who's been eating all this really healthy food at the fast food stores, I can see a market for people really wanting to get into crickets and cockroaches and things like that. Have you tried them yourself yet?
I don't I don't think so. I remember being in Thailand and I was like grossed out by some, and I was like, I don't think I'm gonna eat that. So no, I've been passing. Probably gonna continue to pass. Yeah.
Yeah, we're in Mexico right now, and the scorpions on a stick are going really well.
Yeah, yeah. I've seen them.
Now, in economic news, at the moment, Walmart are cutting the prices of its products because the sales are down, meaning most of the Chinese illegal immigrants will have to opt for a lower specification Range Rover next year or choose another color option other than white. How do you see the state of the world right now with illegals coming in across the borders? This is clearly a good thing because there's more people to take the jobs that most people don't want to work for, and most people then can just claim social assistance, stay at home all day, and watch YouTube and any other kind of news that comes through the mainstream media, which is very important that they consume at this moment in time. Is this the way forward for everyone? Is this really a good thing?
It's a multi-layered, because there's the comedian me, and then there's the guy who actually knows what's going on, and there's that and the spiritual me. So there's multiple sides. Um, the big matrix scam that everybody has to like work really hard. It's fucking bull. It's been bullshit the whole time. Humans are not here to slave away. Humans are here to actually like express their unique gifts, build, love each other, paint, run, play. Like, and we have all the resources on the planet where people who want to build can build, people who want to farm can farm, people who want to, walk dogs can walk dogs. Like we can all actually be living our passions and have a great planet. So I think if they stop, if they actually release all the technology they've been hiding for the last several hundred years out there, it would be transform. We would not even recognize the planet. And if the elites weren't actually running the show, my God, there would be so much wealth. There wouldn't be hungry people. There wouldn't be wars. There wouldn't be sickness. There wouldn't be any of that shit. It would just be heaven. So I think if we really are going into that world, it's not going to be an issue. Who's got the shitty jobs? Dude, there's going to be abundance for everyone, and people will actually volunteer to go pick up garbage or do those jobs because they want to help, and everybody has healthy food, a great place to sleep, and has a health plan, and nobody has to worry about that shit. So we'll all just pitch in as society and do what needs to be done for all of us to be happy. So I think that's actually where we're headed, but there needs to be a bit of an awakening and a fucking collapse before we get to that point. But it's coming. It's definitely coming.
It's definitely coming. I mean,
It's definitely coming.
at the end of the day, I look at the fact
Biden Harris 2024. I'm telling you guys, that's the winning ticket. That's how we wake everyone up.
I'm getting the t-shirts printed for that. That's got to be another money maker for us there.
It's going to be great.
I look and I've often spoken to people about this, and I look at us as human beings. I mean, not that I've got much hair at the moment anyway, but when we're born, we can't walk for maybe a year, 18 months, and we need to be clothed and housed because, we can't live in the climates that we're in. And then we look at, the work of the likes of Greg Braden, where he's come out and he's talked about genetics and chromosomes within the human body quite obviously being changed. Are we being farmed here? Are we nothing but cattle to something that we're not aware of?
I'm pretty aware of it. Yeah, the movie The Matrix was a documentary. Everybody, I think most people, I don't know, just anyone who's awake knows this kind of stuff. But they're not just farming us for economic, you know what I mean, for like us building all of stuff. Yeah, that too. But it's energetic. They actually feed off loosh and having people be depressed and be living in fear of death, fear of like people living in fear and being separated from source. That is their energy source, and that's why like the biggest threat to these beings, quite genuinely, is us being in our hearts and feeling love and compassion, for, not just for each other, but for them, to actually be loving on them. It's terrifying to them.
Yeah.
So that's why they always have to attack Jesus's real teachings, because he was actually teaching love, oneness, total forgiveness, and that they can't have that. So that's actually the one name you cannot say if you go to any of these secret underground bases, or where you go hang out with where the dark ones really are. The only thing they'll tell you is never say his name, never say Jesus Christ, because that will fuck shit up, and he may actually show up because he can appear anywhere he needs to appear because he's an immortal.
Right up until the point the guy who's putting the electrics in the deep underground bases drops a hammer on his toe, and that comes out of his mouth.
Yeah, he's that guy's in trouble. I tell you what, he's
Yeah,
in trouble. But yeah, man, they've been looshing on us from about forever. Yeah.
yeah.
That's why the biggest revolution is raise your vibration. Remember your true nature. Remember what you are. You are eternal love, having a human experience. You are the creator. We're all one being, and that is the only thing you actually need to do. That's the only thing that matters is remember your true nature before everything else. Remember your true nature. That's the revolution.
Oh yeah. The amount of times I sit here and I'm like, okay, remember who you are, remember where you came from, remember what you are, and being able to live
Yep.
in that true power in that moment, and being able, if people could find and sit with themselves and figure out who they are. We're a fractal of God. We're a soul. The vehicle is the meat suit that they're in, and we're here to experience this reality that we're in at the
Yeah.
moment. You know, do we need to take it as serious as we do?
No.
Possibly want to
No.
survive, but at the end of the day, maybe the humor, maybe the mocking of, the demonic, satanic, horrible things. I've heard people say that you can literally just take the power away by laughing at it and just saying, "You've got no power over me, you've got no control over me." But unfortunately, throughout the centuries, they've created through human greed the ability to create governments and authorities and rules and laws and education systems that indoctrinate people to think in just one certain way. And this has been the trap all along that people have fell into. And I think the hardest part for people is to take a step back from everything, the reality that they're experiencing, and take a step back and say, I've been lied to all my life, and everything I've believed and everything I think is what they've made me think. And for so many people out there, I think this is beyond the comprehension that they don't want to, because I think some people actually like the life of drinking a beer and watching the hockey, the bread and circuses that comes around. They don't realize the true purpose of what they are. They're never going to be able to find their power. Is the one clearly defining thing that you think can awaken people around the world?
What is the one thing that could?
Yeah,
Um, it seems like people really, really need to be brought to their knees in order to have that spiritual crisis, in order to have that moment of like, what the actual fuck is going on here? Because again, the matrix is so sneaky and it's built in such a way where there's so much distraction, right? Like having to work so many jobs, all the taxes, the pollution, feeling bad, gut problems, not knowing about health, not knowing about clean water, EMF, 5G towers everywhere. Dude, it's a fucking shit show navigating this reality, and with all the pressures, the financial stuff, the fuck, everything's fucked. So they've done such a good job because who has time to sit for 20 minutes and actually meditate or read a spiritual book or anything like that? Like most people, it doesn't even occur to them that they need to discover the truth of reality or the truth of themselves, and that's actually going to lead to the peace and the happiness that they actually on a deep level really, really want. People are so disconnected, they can't even perceive that. They're just thinking, oh, if I just make this much money or get this promotion or have a, whatever, if I just want to
yeah.
bang this person over, like they're so caught up in the matrix and survival. It's not even in their reality that all of that is a distraction from discovering your true nature. So again, that's the curse of this place, but it's also the gift, because if you can see through all that and you can be pushed into such a level of hell and torture and suffering to actually go, wait a second, I need to do something here. There's got to be more to life than this. Then you can have that spiritual awakening. Then you're on your path that can actually lead to your full awakening and liberation. So again, it's a blessing and a curse. It's the worst thing ever, and it's the fucking greatest thing ever if it leads you into your own self-realization, right? It's just a matter of like, are you going to, do you have the strength to fucking come out of that darkness and start on that journey? And I've met many people who they haven't begun, and I've met many people who've been on that journey for decades, and they're amazing beings, and they're at peace and spreading love and on their mission. So, that's That's what makes this realm so fascinating. It's like people that are completely lost and serving Satan and are absolutely fucked and don't even know it, and the other side where people are literally doing God's work here and spreading love and doing the most amazing things. And it's all here. It's all here for us to experience. It's mad.
Absolutely.
It's madness and it's beautiful, you know?
I look back over my life and we spoke earlier and we talked about different things. But, for me, I can look back and I can see exactly how I was programmed, how I became, the following the rules that are laid out for life. And at some point you think, why do I need to follow these rules? And I was a rebel in school. I got kicked out of classes. I never listened. There was the daydreamer. But you do end up conforming to society's rules as you grow up. What was it for you that woke you up? Where was your moment in life where you kind of realized and said, this isn't for me. This is who I want to be. This is my awakening moment now. And how did that progress for you?
Yeah, that's an interesting one. I always had an inherent feeling that everything was bullshit. So even as a kid, the stuff my mother was telling me about religion, I was like, this is bullshit. I'm in school and they're telling me all this information, and I'm like, on a soul level, I was going, I know I don't need to know this. This is fucking bullshit. I'm going to be fine without this bullshit. So I got kicked out of high school. You know what I mean? Like, I never believed any of it. When I saw September 11th happen, I was like, this doesn't seem right. And 2 years later, around 2003, my mate had this book about that thick by David Icke
Oh yeah,
about
yeah. We got David on
September
the show
11th.
a
Yeah,
couple of
it's
times then.
massive.
Yeah.
So, dude, I started reading that book, and I'm like, okay, I got it. And that was it. That was it. After that, I saw all of it, everything. It's all
I know
bullshit.
what his books went from being that thin, from his
Yeah,
first ones to like the telephone
yeah.
directory.
Yeah, it's like a
And like,
Bible. It's ridiculous.
my wife would sit there laughing because it would take me several months to get through his book. And I'm not the best reader in the world, but what it was, I would read a chapter and I'd sit there and kind of go, what the fuck did I just read? And
Yeah,
then I'd go back to the beginning of the chapter again and read it again and kind of sit there like, holy shit. And then I'd go back
it's a
again.
lot.
I'd end
Yeah,
up
yeah,
reading each chapter like three times
yeah.
before it would
It's a
sink in.
lot. It's a
It
lot. But
is.
I just want to say to people out there, because I know a lot of people, like freedom people and awake people, are going through this where it's like information overload. Like every day, all your friends are sending you 19 fucking things about like the evil people are doing this and that. And honestly, like, don't be like in that shit all the time. It's not actually good for us on a soul level or on a like energetic mental level. It's really not. Like once you understand their bullshit agenda about separation and you know everything they say is the opposite of the truth, just focus on living your mission. Focus on helping other people. Focus on building the world that you actually want to see. That's where our human energy should be going. Not like freaking out like look what they're doing, dude. We are literally the creator of all that is the like source. Just I just call it source. It's just easier. Source energy. It's everything. It's in the trees. It's in the plants. It's us. It's everything. You are powerful beyond imagination. Do you really want to sit around all day looking at fucking fear porn, or do you actually want to do something? Do you want to start a business that's going to make money and help a bunch of people, and then you can invest that money and feed people, or build shelters for people, or educate kids to think for themselves, or teach people about their sovereignty? All the amazing things that we could be doing to help our brothers and sisters out there. Do you want to spend your time doing that, or just looking at all the evil shit the bad guys are doing? We create our reality. So this is a really important message for anybody who's waking up, anyone in the freedom, everybody. Guys, put your energy into building the world that you want to see. We can't wait for some hero or some politician to come and fix there's just no fucking way anyone can fix this. We
Yeah.
can fix it by becoming the highest version of ourselves, doing the shadow work, healing yourself, getting rid of your anger, fixing your relationships, getting rid of your shitty friendships, get a
Yeah.
job that you love, get your life good, be healthy, eat healthy food, stop drinking alcohol, stop fucking smoking. You know what I'm saying? Like, get your shit together and build the world that you want from a place of love. And when you actually do that and you're coming from that place of oneness, the miracles happen. Like because we're all one consciousness. When your intention is actually for the benefit of all beings, the universe lines up. Miracles happen, coincidences happen that support you and your mission, because you're working with with creation. You're working with good. God is good. We are that, right? And
Yeah.
this is why this is why no matter what evil shit the bad guys are doing, they cannot win. This is an experience for us to remember who we are. It's an experience. They cannot win. You can't beat God. It's ridiculous. So
Yeah.
you are divinely protected if you're in integrity and you're coming from that place. You're
Yeah.
going to attract the experiences that you need in your reality. If you keep putting up, well, but they're going to kill us and I'm so scared, you're going to keep manifesting that bullshit. But if you just go, God is good, I know who I am, I'm just going to live my life and help other people, you're going to be great. And
Yeah.
that's really important here with all the fear porn going around. Really important.
I mean, it is important. I mean, nobody needs to cross the road with their eyes closed and ignore the danger that's around them. And it's great to be aware of what's going on around you. But I've been saying to a lot of people recently, I'm seeing people stuck in a loop,
Yeah.
and that loop has been, it was a baptism of fire. It was an awakening over the past 4.5 years for many people. And I get it. There's still many people suffering from everything that happened over that period of time, with lockdowns, with masks, with jabs, with everything that's gone on, people losing the businesses and freedoms and everything. It was a very big thing, and I'm so glad it happened. And as you said earlier, it was an awakening moment for so many people. But as you just said there, it has become a trap for people now, and to a level where they just won't let go of it. They can't move on to the next thing. And I'm in two minds of whether this is entertainment for them, or whether it's just that they can't break away from the power that this has gripped them. Did it scare people so much that that's all they're going to continue to talk about? And I know we're never going to forget it. There's things that have happened in history for many people that they're never going to forget. But if we look at the timeline of history, people have always moved on, and there's always been more crises that they've had to face and deal with that. We do need to be aware of what's coming. And that for me is, I do want to create the alert, and people will say it's fear porn. And I'll say, but you need to know what's coming. Like yesterday, I did an interview with a guy from Miles Franklin, the guy that owns the silver bullion and gold bullion company. And I'm basically saying to people, we know that they're going to do something with the cash. The central bank digital currencies are already in place. The debt bubble is so enormous that the markets are no longer sustainable and it's going to crash. But if you allow it to happen and you lose everything, it's your own fault. What I'm telling people right now, get yourself prepared, be ready, heed the
Yeah.
warnings, and take steps to protect yourself, because
From a place of love. That's the thing. You
yeah,
can be pragmatic and get ready, but don't, we're gonna lose everything. No, bro, because as soon as you're in a panic mode, you're literally putting out fear vibrations. You're saying to the universe, I'm in fear, I want to experience more fear. Cool. Universe just says, cool, you're gonna experience that. But if you go, hey, I trust the divine plan, I'm gonna listen for my signals, I trust I'm gonna be where I need to be when things happen. And yeah, sure, I'll have a little food and a little, a little gold, whatever. Well, sure, take care of yourself and your loved ones, but from a place of love. Hey, I love my family. I want to make sure they stay fed if some shit goes down. So I'm going to take care of business
yeah,
from a place of love, not fear. And that is the difference. Do
yeah,
not, see what I'm saying? It's everything comes down to the energy we're coming from. You know what I'm saying? I have a little silver, I have a little gold, so I can feed my friends and make sure my friends are good, just in
yeah.
case. Not because I'm terrified and come on. It's all about vibration, man, and they know that. That's why they have to spread so much fear. All the movies, all the news, I think because that's their main, that's their number one weapon.
Yeah.
More than poisoning the food, poisoning the water, their number one weapon is lowering your vibration with fear. And when you really realize that's their number one weapon, our number one reply to that is, I choose love.
Yeah.
I choose love. That is the greatest revolution and the greatest threat. And that's why actually they take out anyone who attains enlightenment. Bob Marley, one love, take them out. Anybody who actually, Jesus, take them out. Anybody who gets it, because they're the number one threat,
Yeah. That's it. John Lennon,
which tells you what the revolution is. Be that love in this world.
absolutely. Now, you mentioned the matrix, and obviously the matrix that we live within. And I've heard many different theories about what this reality could be, and explored many different avenues that could give me the answers and help me understand, what I am, why I'm here, and all the major questions that people have. But the one thing that I've been talking about lately, and people, and again, I don't want people to think it's fear porn. I want people to listen to, what's happening and where it's going. And the stages that I'm seeing with these dark satanic elites is obviously it's always been about control. It's always been about enslaving humanity. Now, I'm saying to people, very much like the Matrix itself and the way the Matrix was, that the next steps of the way we're moving forward is to try and get these brain chips into people and have people think that they're absolutely fantastic because, if I think, oh, what's happening today in my area, and Google tells me immediately without me having to think, then people are going to think that that's the greatest thing since the smartphone came out. And my concern is a lot of people are going to take this on. But I see that as a stepping stone because I'm looking at the development of quantum computing right now that has immense power to do what it is. But following on that, they are now realizing that the electronic chips that they make for the quantum computing are not powerful enough. And right now, it's already happened. They've already done it. They're able to take human brain cells and use them as the processor for high-speed quantum computing. My fear is that the next step of this is that they're going to say to people, under the laws of sustainable development around the world, we can't save the world. And we may be just going through this natural cycle of, a global reset, a pole shift, whatever we want to call it. But the governments and the people who are in positions of power are going to use this as the very tool to say to humanity, what we've got is these huge tunnels that we've been building all around the world underground. And what we're going to do, we're going to be able to put you into a tank and go asleep for 50 years. And that 50 years means that the world will heal itself. And when you come back out, it's going to be absolute paradise. But my concern is with the power of the human mind, the power of the consciousness, is that they're going to take humanity, stick them into pods underground, tell them that they're going to go asleep, and they're going to create the biggest human consciousness biocomputer linked system, a quantum computer that rivals the power of the creator himself. And the very dark satanic forces then can play God. And that is where I think this is possibly heading. What are your thoughts on that?
I think you've gone a little bit too far on this one, mate. Well, look, we know that there's definitely an AI agenda. Like that's for real. Like I've seen enough where they're definitely trying to merge our consciousness with AI. But here's the thing. Here's some deep spiritual. Are you ready to get spiritual? I think you're ready to get spiritual. You've taken ayahuasca. You're ready to get spiritual.
Oh, wait.
So nothing can be done. Like if a being is really on their purpose, their soul has to agree to something for it to happen. You see what I'm saying? Like that's just how it actually works. So are millions of humans going to agree to be put to sleep and turned into fucking AI? I don't think so. It just seems a bit much. Their plans are their
That's like,
plans are
yeah, that's like saying millions of people won't take the vaccine. I didn't think that
millions of
would happen.
people. I honestly, I was still shocked. I was still shocked at that one. But apparently, it was necessary for the awakening. So if they need to build a supercomputer out of millions of people's brains to wake up the rest, yeah, I mean, it could happen. It could, could conceivably happen. Um, I really think the awakening is just speeding up. Like I have more and more stories of people who are like, my mom finally said, fuck the vaccine. And real, I'm like, oh, nice. So more and more people, it's kind of unstoppable at this point, and it's going to take what it's going to take. Um, and I think we're going to see some really crazy things like, um, I know that we don't live in one stable timeline. I've had many experiences of like shifting to an alternate timeline where I remembered the other timeline, and I'm not the only one. Look up the Mandela effect. Millions of people have been having
Yeah.
these experiences. So there isn't one timeline, and our consciousness, our intention on a deep level actually creates our reality to the point where you can literally shift between timelines. So if your soul really needs to experience a timeline where some really fucking horrific shit happens like that or some other really, really, really bad stuff, if you really need that to wake up, you can go experience that. Or you could just decide right now to pick the timeline where millions of people wake up, we all come together, we work together, all the people in government, all these evil people feel like assholes because everybody's ignoring them while we're all building paradise. And even those people start to have spiritual awakening, oneness experiences and going, oh my God, I don't want to be the bad guy anymore. Let me put my billions of dollars and start doing good with it. That's the timeline I'm choosing. We're
Yep.
great awakening. Even the bad guys start fucking going like, fuck this, I don't want to be this guy anymore. And it's all beautiful. And we're heading there. And the minimum amount of death and chaos required for the great awakening is what's going to happen. Not like fucking 95% of people all get fucking slaughtered. I'm not picking that timeline. But be very careful again with your fear porn and what you're taking in, because you are voting with your consciousness and your vibration. You're saying to existence, this is my preference. Whatever you're if you're vibrating love, you're saying, I want to be in the love timeline where that's what it's all about. And you're going to go there. If you're in the fear and scarcity and greed all for yourself, you're going to go into that timeline and you're going to experience that for yourself. So do not underestimate your own power as a creator and as a manifester. And you are choosing your timeline all the time. So be conscious.
Let's talk about the love and light thing, because there's a lot of people out there that I've met that, have become all love and light. And for me, I think that that is very much out of balance, because when we look at the likes of the yin and yang symbol, it encompasses the dark and the light in equal numbers. Do you believe that in order to survive being human, that we have to have a balance of being badass as well as being love and light, and knowing when to use these tools to fight against something or to bring things in and manifest things? Is it a balance that people need to have? And can some people go too far into the love and light that literally you could just come round and just smack them on the back of the head and they're done?
That's a really interesting question. Sometimes love is doing something fucking like like look, even if you're in the love and you're positive and happy and there's a bunch of fucking killers and they're coming and they're coming for your family and they're going to murder your children, they're going to murder your wife, the loving thing to do is to pick up that sword and chop their fucking heads off. That is the loving thing to do in that situation, because the opposite is you and your family are going to get fucking butchered. So sometimes you go, nope, because I love. And here's what's interesting about this question. Even knowing you have to take your sword out and chop down men and kill a bunch of men, you would not do it from a place of anger. And this is very important. You're doing it from love for your family and love for your kids. You will kill these men, not from anger, because in that moment, maybe you'll lose, maybe you'll get chopped down. And if you're in that fuck you anger, you're not going to like what happens to you when you leave your physical body. You may have some very negative experiences because you're coming from anger. But if you're just like, okay, this is my fate, I must now fight for my family in this situation, even in that case, knowing you must kill men, if you come from love, you're going to be fine. So again, everything comes down to vibration. Everything comes down to vibration. Can you go too far into the just woo woo? Yeah, in a way that you can, if you're able to dismiss all this evil shit that's clearly happening in the world, and you're going to sit there and meditate all day. Meditating all day may not be the solution either. You see what I'm saying? So it's like, keep that love in your heart and do what you must that you know is right in your heart, which sometimes is picking up a sword. But that would be for a man of love. A true warrior will never resort to violence unless it is the absolute last resort. Literally, they're coming for your family now, and they're all going to die unless you act. That is the moment. But any other moment, you look for peace. You seek peace always. But yeah, it always the middle road. This has been some deep wisdom that the Buddha spoke, and I've only really been observing the importance of this in the last few years of my life, because I'm an extremist. I go extreme. Everything I do, I go extreme. Extreme into comedy, extreme into cryptocurrency, extreme into spirituality. Like, I'm an extremist. And it has its benefits, but it also can have its downfalls. And I've really been learning the middle way. The middle way, always the middle way, is usually the correct way.
Yeah, and you think
Yeah,
if
keep your balance, man. Keep your balance. That's why that Tao is like that. That's why that, keep the balance. That's what being in your center is. You're not one way or the other. You're in your center. That's what you learn in Tai Chi. If you're actually in your center, any attack that comes at you, you're not triggered, and the opponent will actually hurt themselves because you're just not going to be there because you're in your center, right?
yeah,
It's very, very profound to really be in your center. You cannot be fucked with and you cannot be defeated.
yeah. And at the end of the day, people we talk about a great awakening and we talk about people waking up. And we do need to get through this. We need a lot of people to wake up because the scales are
Yes,
slightly balanced at the
but this is
moment.
really interesting because I used to think that too. Oh, we need a lot of people. Not really, not really. For two reasons. Number one, if 5% of people are awake, the system can't continue. It's fucked. That's too much resistance. 2% might be enough, but we're way over those numbers by now. That's number
Yeah,
one. And number two is because it's a multiverse and your soul chooses what reality you want to experience, even if 1% of people are awake, those 1% are going to go into the timeline where we all come together, the dark forces fall, and we build paradise on earth. Because as long as we're clear on who we are and what fucking reality we're going into, we're going there. Everyone else can experience whatever they want. 99% of people can go into the hell realm where they fucking get the AI chip and merge with, and it's fucking Star Trek Borg all over the place running the planet. Good for them. That's what they need in their spiritual awakening. I don't. I'm not going there because I don't need to experience that. So,
yeah,
so if you really, really know that we're in a multiverse, and I'm 100, I mean, I've experienced it. I'm not just like I read a book or some shit. I fucking experienced it, man, more than once.
yeah.
You are choosing literally your timeline. Choose wisely. Trust that everyone else is going to end up where they need to be. Be willing to help pull your brothers and sisters into your more positive timeline if they want your help. But accept that some people have to experience some really fucked up shit before they're ready to join you. And that's okay. That's okay.
Do you believe that we write our own blueprint before we come and incarnate back into being human again in the meat suit?
Fundamentally, yes. So I've had some really deep like self-realization, enlightenment, full-on ego death, oneness with all that is experiences. I'm writing a book on it actually, and I've been really lazy because I should have written it by now. But I've had some really deep ones, and ultimately we are all one self. Like all of consciousness, all of existence is one being in absolutely infinite forms. So what that means is you are everyone that's ever lived, everyone that's alive now, everyone that will ever exist in all lifetimes, all planets, all dimensions. It's all the one being. It's all you, and that's a lot to take on. But that is the nature of reality. So if you actually know that it's all you, there isn't really a problem.
Yeah. And, makes you wonder why John Lennon got bumped off. I mean, he was putting lyrics in his songs like "I am you as you are me," and dropping the hints constantly that we are one. And, we are all connected. And, I put a post up yesterday, funnily enough. Um, it was actually just a normal story about a telescope in space finding all these different things out there that hadn't been discovered before, and the supermassive black holes and things like that. And I kind of sat back and thought about what I'd watched, and the realization at that point, down to this quantum level that everything is just energy. That people are trying to find God, and they're expecting this bearded old dude in the sky to be there watching over people while he's floating around on a cloud. But I think the stark realization for me is that the energy itself, which makes up everything, absolutely everything, that energy is God, if we want to put a name to it. I call it source. Many people will have very different names for it. But the very energy that creates what we are and everything we see around us to the level of atoms is nothing more than vibrational frequency and energy. Now, that energy is one. whether it looks to us as we decode it through our eyes and use our brain computer to say, well, this is a phone and this is a pen and this is a laptop I'm looking at. But at the end of the day, that's us decoding because we've been educated to know exactly what this is and what that is. And that all forms part of this experience that we're having. But in reality, we are, as you say, just one. And do you see this as being this energy which is, let's call it universal, because it is universal,
Yeah.
literally.
So totally, and that's what makes it so crazy. Everybody's fighting over different belief systems, religion, oh, murdering other aspects of yourself because they have a different opinion on reality. Dude, it's fucking ridiculous. And it frustrates me sometimes because like it's so profoundly simple. Anything that's not coming from pure unconditional love is not the truth.
Yeah.
Love is literally the creator of all that is. Love is everything, right? But so for anything, any spiritual book, text, government, fucking person, agency, NGO, anything that's not coming from love is not the truth. It's so fucking simple. And that's what frustrates me because some people will go, oh, okay. They'll talk. Jesus is a good example. If you look at the heretical text, the books you're not supposed to read, Gospel of Thomas, for example, it is deeply profound about love and oneness and forgiveness. You read it and it's like, holy fuck, it's all about love. That's the real teachings. But then
Yeah.
you pick up certain spiritual texts. I don't have to name them, but use your imagination. It's got a little truth in it, and then a whole bunch of stuff about a God that's angry and vengeful and will have you sacrifice your own fucking family, and is anti-women and is anti-homosexual, and and like a hateful God. And like, there's no like, which is it then? Is it the Christ love, unconditional love for all, or is it this other thing that's clearly about separation? Like, it doesn't make sense that you could put them together. It's again, it's cognitive dissonance on a really, really, really deep level. So again, it always comes down to love. So yeah, answer to your question, it doesn't matter what you call it. You could call it, yeah, universal energy, consciousness, source. It's what everything is. One of my spiritual teachers always says this. Whenever you bring up a spiritual topic, he'll always do this. He'll look at you and he'll just say, he'll get serious and he'll say, there is no God. There is only God. And it gets people every time because at the first part, people get triggered. It's all there is. It's the only game in town. And as long as we're trying to be that in this world, that love, if that's honestly what we're trying to do to the best of our ability, everything's going to work out great.
Yeah.
It's really that simple. That doesn't mean you're not going to have to do shadow work and apologize to a lot of people because you were a dickhead and really look at some of your belief systems. It's hard work, man. I've been working on myself for decades. I still got more to do. I had a lot of progress, but I'm not 100%. Nobody's 100%. But we live in a society that's just like, it's all about the ego and the money and the separation and being better than people and competing with people. It's all satanic. It's
All
all
fake.
fucking
It's
it's
fake.
all fake and it's all satanic. And it makes people so disconnected from that love that we are. And yeah, the spiritual path, man, the ultimate truth. Discover what you are, and that's the only path that will get you the peace and the happiness that all of us crave is self-knowledge. There is no other shortcut. It's the self-knowledge.
Yeah. And as we said, if we're all one, everything we think, everything we experience is growing this knowledge of feedback to what this whole energy. It's just a huge feedback to it. And as you said earlier, I'll put out information, and yeah, it will be scary to some people, but I like to think it's a wake-up call. But again, I'll do interviews and we'll talk spiritually. As I mentioned before, I've done a lot of work over the years on myself, and there's probably more to do. But it is very easy to get dragged back into it because the experience that we're having is very, very real. Do you find sometimes that, we have to, I always say we've got to wear two hats. If I'm going out in the world and I've got to go shopping and drive the car and meet people and talk and whatever, I need to put one hat on. And then when I want to kind of talk about the spirituality side of things and try and figure out what this is all about, that's another hat. And most people wouldn't understand that. But sometimes you will get dragged back into the life that you don't want to be in. And you've got to kind of pull yourself back again and try and get yourself balanced again. What work do you do yourself if you find yourself getting slipping back into the conditioning that we've all received? That's probably the best way I can put it.
Hmm. Dude, that's a really good question. I mean, even the question, you have to have a certain amount of awareness even to ask that question, right? Most people don't even have the awareness that they're going into patterns of trauma or separation or, these negative belief systems. Um, I can feel like, because again, I've had some really fucking big ass awakenings. The ego is just, once you've been through some of those awakenings, the ego is just, it just doesn't run the show as much. So when it comes up with it, it's like, hey, wait, this person's not paying attention to me, or like, how come that guy got the big slice of cake? You see it and you're like, dude, that's ridiculous. You're coming more from that oneness love place because you know it's the truth. So good practice for me. I've always had a really, really fast, being a comedian, of course, a really fast mind, but sometimes overactive mind, right? Like super, super
Oh yeah.
fast. And
No,
I've slowed, dude, yeah, I think a lot of people can resonate with that, like, right? But again, the more you go into your center and into the self-realization, things do slow down because you have more of these profound moments of peace and bliss where you're just there breathing, and the mind stops and you're like, whoa, I'm really happy right now, and I'm just breathing. So that's one of the biggest and most simplest hacks, is whenever the mind starts to play up or you start to worry or you start to get busy, just focus on your breath, just breathe, just really go back to the breath. Big breath in, feel it in your gut, breathe deep, let it go. And just doing like 3 deep breaths and just appreciating the moment. Just appreciate you're alive during this crazy time. Look at a flower. Look at the cute dog across the road. Look at the beautiful architecture around you. And just for a moment, think, hang on a minute. I'm with infinite consciousness in this unique incarnation, having this crazy experience. And you don't know how long you're going to be having this experience. And just appreciate it for a couple of breaths and try and continue your day with that presence and that appreciation.
yeah,
It's so simple, dude. And like, we've all had those meditative moments of presence. When you're washing the dishes, right? You're washing the dishes and sometimes your just mind just checks out and you're just scrubbing soap on this plate. And suddenly you're like, whoa, whoa, what happened? And people literally snap out of it. Whoa, what was that? That was presence. That was actually just you being without the mind and the personality and the. So can you bring that level of presence into everything, into this conversation? Can I be 100% listening and connecting with this other beautiful aspect of myself in this moment? Not worrying about, I have work to do, not worrying about, am I going to say the right answer to your next question, not trying to predict what's going to happen, but just being in this moment now is the most profound thing we can do. And again, they build a society specifically so it's so difficult to just be present and just be authentic. They're
yeah,
brilliant at doing that. But that is the fundamental, that is the thing to the spiritual path. Like, what can you do in your life to bring you into the now? Some people, massage, dance lessons, singing, chanting, praying, go
yeah,
for a barefoot walk in nature. Maybe a microdose of mushrooms would help you with that. Being with animals, whatever you need to do to calm the mind and be here in this moment. Take every day, do something like that. That is the revolution, because in those moments you come into your center, you feel the bliss and the joy that is your divine birthright. And in those moments you go, no one can take this away from me. I am this bliss. I am this joy. This is my true nature. It doesn't matter the government fear porn on the TV, because I am existence.
yeah,
They can't stop me from existing. Do you see what I'm forever? Even if they hit you with a truck and you leave your body, guess what? You will still be existence. You'll just be
yeah,
in another body. That's okay. You will always continue to exist, and joy is your nature.
yeah.
So that is our goal, to get to that place. And nobody, only you can stop yourself from going there. Nobody else can stop you. It's
Yeah.
it's only you.
And people know that the law of physics, energy can never be destroyed. It can only be changed into one form or another. And that is
Right.
very applicable to what we are as well, as we just mentioned a few minutes ago. Everything is energy and everything is connected as one. But people need to get out of the headspace because, I
Right.
always say to people, this is a lousy master, but it's a great servant once you master your mind and you're able to control it. But really, the soul, the fractal, the all spark, as I call it, within us is the thing that we should listen to more. And do you think people? I always say this: trust your gut instinct. Because you'll probably never go wrong. But I think a lot of people out there find it very difficult to connect with that gut instinct and allow this to be the master and not the servant.
That's right.
Is there any systems that you use or work with to make sure that this remains the servant to what's going on inside, to the true energy, to the true connection to source?
Dude, that's like extremely profound and very massive question. So I'll try and answer it as best as I can without writing a small novel, because this has been like the biggest part of my work over the last 2 decades.
Yeah.
Um, it is an ongoing process to calm the mind, to clear out our trauma and limiting belief systems, and at the same time open up our heart so we can actually be heart centered and feel, like truly feel what is right to say, how is it right to act, like, to really come from our heart. Is not an easy thing to do when we're so mental as a society. Look what they do in school. Memorize this, memorize that, do what you're told. It's complete disconnection from intuition and feeling, and a heart-centered living. That it's a, I'm sure you've heard what the educational system was created from the military schools. Initially it was like, well, it was literally, we need soldiers. Okay, how do we get people ready to be soldiers? Well, let's educate them in school. It's literally soldiers. Well, soldiers are built to follow orders. You're not supposed to think, and you're not supposed to feel, because if you can think and feel, you're not going to go murder another human being.
Yeah.
Right? So the entire matrix is created to separate you from your soul, from your heart, and from your intuition, and to make you a slave, and a robotic slave. That's literally the purpose of what they've created. So this is no small topic, this question that you've asked. So it's really a combination of, discovering what shadow work is and actually starting to do shadow work. Clean up your diet, clean up your gut health. Stop eating every type of food group together, because you're using so much energy and clogging up your gut, and all this issue. It's because you're not supposed to eat a fucking steak and eat a pile of rice at the same time. They don't go together. Okay, you got to learn this stuff.
Yeah.
You're not supposed to, you're not supposed to eat 12 bags of Doritos and 6 chocolate bars. Like clean up your health, because when you're hyped up on sugar and you're like this, and you're full of trauma, you have no chance of doing this work. You have absolutely no chance. If you're on your device and you've got it in your face all day long, you're getting the Wi-Fi is literally destroying you. It's destroying you. Get a cable like this one. See that? It's a LAN cable. It plugs into your router, and you turn the Wi-Fi off on your router. This shit is killing you. You're living in radiation. If you live next to a 5G tower, you need to move or take some serious precautions that are quite, a pain in the ass, or you're fucked. Do you understand? So there are so many things you need to do to actually start connecting with your intuition. Be loving. This is the biggest one. Start loving on other people and treating other people as if you knew that they were you, as if you were an enlightened master, because they are you. And the more you come from that place and treat people like that, you're sending information, vibration out to the universe saying, hey, I'm acting like I know the truth. I'm acting like we're all one consciousness. And the universe is going to say, oh, you want oneness? I'm going to show you more experiences of love, kindness, and oneness. And suddenly other people are treating you as if they knew you were one with them. What a coincidence. So trying your best with whatever trauma and beliefs, everything that you have, coming from that love as much as you can to the best of your ability. None of us are fully enlightened masters. We're all going to say something stupid or fuck up or misunderstand. You're not supposed to be perfect. We're working towards perfection, but do the best you can to be kind. Learn about nonviolent communication. It's very important, because we all say things that upset others, and we're not trained how to speak in a way that doesn't attack. We all attack. Oh, it's his fault. It's their fault. Oh, you fucked me up. Whatever. But when we learn to communicate more effectively and we go, hey, when you said this, it made me feel upset because of this. I just want you to be aware of that without attacking people. Another really, really important thing. Um, you know, all of these things are critical to get us back into our heart. There's so many things, you know, but healing work, man, healing work, presence, good food, good vibes, good environment, good friends. Get rid of your relationships that aren't serving you. You got people who are parasitic energy, who are draining you, who you know aren't good for your life. It's time to find some new friends.
Yeah.
Tell those beings you love them, but this is not a good, maybe you'll connect later in life. But at this point in your journey, you're only looking for relationships that are uplifting, and you, God bless them, but you can't be what they, it's not working for you right now. It's a lot of stuff. You got a shitty ass fucking job that you hate that's destroying your soul. Time to take a leap of faith in the universe and leave that job and trust that something is going to show up that's more in alignment for you. You know what I'm saying? It's a leap of faith. But that's a big part of it. Trusting creation, which is trusting yourself, because it's all yourself. It's just another version of yourself. And trusting that that there is something out there you can do that will be good for your soul, where you can be of service to your fellow man, that you can do good in the world, and that you'll be provided for. And doing whatever you have to do to get to that position, and not settling for, oh, well, I work for Satan, but it pays the bills, so it's okay. It's not okay. It's actually not okay. And imagine if people were willing to put their job on the line and put their friendships on the line to do what their soul knew was right. What would the world be like today if people were in that place? And that's,
Yeah.
again, lack of spiritual knowledge, lack of self-knowledge. That's the only reason you would do things that you know are wrong, that are ungodly, because, oh, well, people will think I'm weird if I say no. Oh, I might lose my job if I stick up for my morals. Yeah, you might lose your job, but you'd have a fucking soul that was intact. You know what I'm saying? And you would be connected on a much deeper level to creation if you didn't stab yourself in the back by acting out of alignment with integrity and acting out of alignment with your soul. And it's not like there's no judgy God. It's just like, if you want to manifest peace and happiness, you have to be in integrity with your soul and with who you really are, not with a bunch of zombies that are getting their 9th booster and are working for Satan. You know what I'm saying? Cooperating with those guys, it's not going to get you anywhere. It's not. And so everybody's got to make their choice. Everyone's got to make their choice. And this, again, I'm not a Bible thumper, like, not at all, but like, everyone's got to make their choice. It's kind of obvious, like there's a choice to be made. Are you with love, truth, and oneness and goodness, or are you with the forces of darkness?
Yeah. No, that's exactly. I'm going to wrap this up now, but is the one message that, if you could say, let's say right now, the whole of humanity is watching this podcast, what would the message be? The key message, the one thing that you want to say to people, and you've got this huge audience right now, and everyone's listening. What's the message you want to give?
You are love. You've always been love. You will always be love. And your only job in this world is to remember that and to live that as deeply as you can.
Yeah. And on that note, I think we'll leave it. I think we've gone from, people are going to watch this and they're going to go, oh, this is great. That's kind of funny. And then all of a sudden
They're going to be like, what the hell?
get
Hang on a
deep
second.
serious.
You didn't ask me like what great projects I'm doing or any of that stuff. Where's the point where I get to show my great stuff?
Well, the thing is, you're going to tell us where people can find you, and they're going to go and discover it now. Now, whether they want to see the funny side or whether they want to see the spiritual side, they're going to need to dig a little bit deeper and find exactly what you're doing. So tell everyone now what you're doing, where you're doing it, and how they're going to find you.
All right. I'll tell the people. Well, if you like comedy, alexthecomic.com, and on Instagram and on Twitter, everywhere. I got some funny things. I was doing some pretty hilarious stuff to wake people up during the pandemic. So that's out there. On the deeply, also on the freedom/spiritual side, recently we did something that's quite funny. If you've seen the very viral video where I'm on a megaphone trying to wake people up and dude attacks me, and it was very funny. The guy who attacked me in a very funny viral video during a protest. His name was Dr. Kimchi. He was a cancer doctor. So we've decided to start a meme crypto token called Dr. Kimchi, where a part of the money actually goes to fund people who actually have cancer solutions. So we took a negative thing, we flipped it positive. And our secret plan is that if it really goes viral and takes off, and we start funding all of these amazing people who are genuine healers, it will make all the cancer charities that are fake and trying to raise money for a cancer cure, and there's dozens of solutions already, it'll make them look like scams, which they are, and will drain all their funding and actually give it to real authentic human beings that are healers. So that's a kind of a revolutionary thing we're doing, and it has legs. The community is amazing. So if you're into crypto, or even if you're not, check that project out. It's drkimchi.xyz. And my main thing, which has been my main thing for years, is spreading love and the spiritual knowledge we've been talking about. So we have a foundation for that. It just lists amazing spiritual books, and it has a prayer on there that's very powerful. And actually, I would end our discussion with this quick prayer that actually removes any non-beneficial parasitic energies that may be afflicting people. And believe me, that changes people's lives when those things are removed. So that foundation is the I Project Love Foundation, and the website is iproject.love, and there's lots of resources there. And yeah, man, when I had a attachment basically years ago draining my life force, and when that thing got removed, dude, man, I started doing push-ups, screaming and running around in circles and doing like jumping jacks, because my energy went from I'm tired and I want to sleep to holy fuck, I feel amazing, let's run up a mountain, literally because someone did a prayer with intention that actually removed some shit I had going on. And it's actually one of the most powerful things that I talk about. So that I would be honored to do this quick, 40-second prayer to any of the crazy people that actually made it to the end of this video. And I'm impressed, by the way. It was long, and we're both crazy, so I'm impressed. Shout out to everybody. Shout out to anyone who made it to the end. Okay, so here we go. And actually, here's what I'll do. I will. Okay, I was going to read the official one because I worded it just right, but it's about the energy. So fundamentally, it goes like this. Everyone just take a deep breath for a moment and just be present. Spirit masters, spirit world, spirit guides, Christ consciousness, higher self. We ask you in this moment to assist us in inviting any negative energies, any non-beneficial energies, whether they be non-beneficial entities, spirits, or demonic attachments that might be afflicting any beings who are hearing these words. Help us invite these beings to ascend to a higher level of consciousness where they can come into alignment with the love that is their true nature. So we're inviting in this moment any energy suckers, any energy vampires to see the love, to remember who they are, to ascend to a higher level, so that they maybe become love and serve the universe. Thank you for taking this opportunity to evolve. We love you. We are grateful. May all beings be blessed. May all beings be happy. May all beings remember the truth of their eternal nature. And so it is. Woo!
And there we go.
Easy peasy. Nobody gets hurt.
No, as easy as that. Well, thank you very much for coming on. We'll get this out today, and we'll get people looking at this. And yeah, we're almost luring them in with what was kind of amusing, and then eventually, it's like going out and fishing.
It's fantastic. It's a brilliant scam. He's going to be funny. It's going to be great. And the next thing you know, you're talking about love and oneness. It's fucking brilliant. You're a Scouser, right? You're from Liverpool. That's a Liverpool accent.
It is, yeah.
So you're halfway up to Edinburgh. I'm actually on the way to Edinburgh, August 14th to 16th. Buddha's Underground. I'm doing a comedy for awake people. So all the comedians they all know about the fucking agenda, and we're all coming from love. So we're going to be trolling the government and talking about love and shit, and it's going to be great. So if anyone's going to the Edinburgh Festival, come check us out. It's going to be a good time.
Oh, you're going to love it up there. It's going to be great. Well, thanks,
great,
Alex, and we'll talk again. And hey, now we've got this expanse of many different topics that we're both aware of and we can talk about. It's going to be pretty good. So take care.
It's always going to be good.
Enjoy,
thanks, brother.
Enjoy the Jean-Claude Van Damme, and we'll talk soon.
Okay, much love to you, sir. Talk again.
Thanks, mate.